All right, everybody. Well, we'll get started in just a moment. I'll give another minute to see if we've got some other members joining us tonight. But thank you to those of you who are here so far. Very nice to see you tonight on this lovely, sadly, January day where it should be very cold. I'll call the meeting to order in just a minute. Hello, Jesse. Nice to meet you.
Hello.
By the way.
Thank you.
We'll give you some time during the meeting to introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your appointment.
Cool.
During the
Thank
PRAB.
you.
Sure. Oops.
Hey, Arthur.
Yes.
Hey, my youth, or my PRAB person, my high schooler can't get in. I don't think they have the most updated link.
Oh. Well, it's personal for each one.
Okay.
Do you need me to resend it to someone?
Yeah. Do you have Riley's email?
Yeah, I should have Riley's email. So I'll send the panelist link to Riley right now.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get this meeting started. I'll call this meeting to order here at 5:32. Welcome everyone on this lovely January day. Nice to see you tonight. Thank you for your time and your dedication to the board. I'd like to start this evening by reading our land acknowledgement, and periodically I'll reach out to people and ask for volunteers and people to read the land acknowledgement, and I did not do that tonight. I'd like to read it tonight and start the year out. Wish you guys, first of all, a happy new year. So our land acknowledgement. We'd like to just start today's meeting today by reading a land acknowledgement. Thank you to City Council and the Denver American Indian Commission for creating this land acknowledgement and allowing DPR to use it. Denver Parks and Recreation honors and acknowledges that the land on which we reside is the traditional territory of the Ute, Cheyenne, and Arapaho peoples. We also recognize the 48 contemporary tribal nations that are historically tied to the lands that make up the state of Colorado. We honor elders past, present, and future, and those who have stewarded this land through generations. We also recognize that the government, academic, and cultural institutions were founded upon and continue to enact exclusions and erasures of Indigenous peoples. May this acknowledgement demonstrate a commitment to working to dismantle ongoing legacies of oppression and inequities, and recognize the current and future contributions of Indigenous communities in Denver. Let us continue to be good stewards of the land and honor our past, both today and into the future. So thank you for that. We appreciate those words and actions behind them even more. We'd like to begin tonight just by reviewing last month's minutes. And we had our last meeting in November because we took December off. Hope you had a really nice December. It was restful, and hopefully you stayed healthy because there were a lot of illnesses going around. So with that, I'd ask if there are any edits or things that we need to add or change for our minutes from November. All right, hearing none, I would adopt the motion to accept the minutes as written.
I motion to accept the minutes.
Thank you, Florence. All right.
You want a second?
I think we can go without, but thank you, Pam. Okay. We'll second it. And at this point, do we have any objections to approving the minutes as written? All right. Any abstentions?
Yes, Fran.
Thank you, Fran. Okay. And with that, the minutes have been approved as written with Fran abstaining. Thank you. All right. Tonight we don't have any presentations tonight with the Parks and Rec or anybody that we've invited to give us presentations, but we do have several people from the public who have signed up for public comment. We thank you tonight for coming to join us and sharing your insight. And we as an advisory board appreciate you coming, taking the time to share. And we will follow up with you through a committee or other, maybe staff member. So Arthur, who's our first speaker tonight?
Let's see, tonight's first speaker is Lisa Robinson. Lisa, if you can just hang on a moment. I've promoted you to panelist, so you should be able to unmute yourself now.
There we
Can
go.
you hear me and see me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Hi.
I'm on my phone for the first time, so I didn't know if this would work.
So far, so good.
Thank you so much. I'm Lisa Robinson, a 36-year resident of Denver, Colorado. I first reported being attacked in DPR La Familia Rec Center, May 2024, by member Gary Gaston, then attacked by DPR staff Dave Lynch. After I reported being attacked, I received a suspension from all rec centers, all Denver parks, and cannot view recreational activity. John Martinez and Jolon Clark then decided to ruin my life because I reported being attacked, and they used their position in government to do so. I got more suspensions for recording a public meeting, 3 months, and for posting a video to my YouTube channel, 1 year. I started speaking at PRAB public comment, but Jolon would stop me from speaking, deny me my constitutional right of free speech, the First Amendment. PRAB members would also stop my speech, denying me my First Amendment. John Martinez drove his car through my garage door, $4,000 in damages, a Class 6 felony, making me afraid in my home, and Denver police closed the case unsolved. John Martinez called many times to have me arrested in public, but Denver police refused to arrest me and told DPR I have a right to record in public and to leave me alone. March 28, 2025, Jolon Clark, John Martinez, Denver City Attorney Katie McLaughlin all conspired to have me arrested for recording in public when I was breaking no laws. All public servants swear an oath to uphold the U.S. Constitution, yet no one in Denver has any idea what the U.S. Constitution states or what they are swearing to uphold. This was troubling that even the Denver City Attorney did not understand constitutional law, the first law of our land. Katie got legal advice from her attorney in a text message that I could record in public, but Katie ignored that legal advice. Katie texted Jolon, who forwarded the text to Sergeant Riker, who unlawfully arrested me. This is the Denver City Attorney acting in a criminal manner for a personal vendetta. I was in criminal court 9 months, costing me thousands of dollars until the city dismissed the case. It took me 9 months and a lot of money to get this text message ordering my unlawful arrest. Arthur.gilkison denied me this Cora public records request, and I finally got it from Jolon Clark's phone. The corruption is everywhere. I requested a meeting with Mayor Johnston to talk about Denver Mafia and his administration, but Katie emailed me that I'm wrong, no one's harassing me, even though she was at the top of the list ordering my unlawful arrest, and she knew about Martinez terrorizing me at my home. Just as I was about to get this message, Katie resigned, knowing she would never be able to get a job once it became public. She does not know the law and is a criminal. The 1 year suspension Martinez gave me February 18th is for posting a video is almost up. Will I be allowed back in the rec centers and parks? I've done nothing wrong. I broke no laws. Can someone have a conversation with me? Martinez messaged me that I will be forced out of Denver. Is this plan still in effect? PRAB's listened to me since February 2025 and seems to be fine with what DPR is doing to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Okay, so our next public comment is from Gary Montague. Gary, can you unmute yourself?
And thank you, Arthur, and thank you for the collaboration that you and I have had over email. Good evening. My name is Gary Montague. I'm a Denver parent speaking on behalf of families across the city that have been affected by the non-renewal of the Montclair Rec Center for the Denver Tritons swim program. The Denver Tritons have operated at Montclair for 17 years. This is a structured competitive youth swim team. Many athletes progress through this program to collegiate competitions and then on to scholarships. That level of development requires consistency, consistent lane access, appropriate coaching ratios, and age-appropriate schedules. At Montclair, the Tritons rented the competition pool while the leisure pool remained open for the public. Younger swimmers would train at Montclair, older swimmers would train at Manual High School. This model worked and was compliant for years. On December 26th, the coaching staff was informed that access to the Montclair Rec Center would not be renewed for the following year. Believing that this was a clerical error on their part, they engaged with Denver Parks and Recs to get it resolved. 4 days later, December 30th, the families were told that because of a new policy, there was no path forward. There was no advance notice, no transition plan after nearly 2 decades of operations. That decision affects 130 children and their families across multiple districts in Denver. Practices at Montclair were immediately canceled. All the swimmers had to consolidate at Manual High School, and the pool is now overcrowded. For younger kids, little kids, practices now begin at 6 p.m. or later. That is directly affecting their sleep, their school readiness, and their family stability. There's also another very avoidable financial impact to this. Approximately $3,800 per month in lost rental revenue to the city, along with associated family memberships. This week, the program has already been forced to rent pool time outside the city of Denver. Our families, we do support the policy and support equitable access to public facilities. Our concern is not the policy goal. Our concern is the implementation, no notice, no transition, and no clear defined path forward for a long-standing youth program. We're not asking for a policy reversal tonight. We are asking for clarity and a collaborative solution to prevent ongoing harm to children, families, and city resources while the policy is being reviewed. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Our next speaker is Scott Gilmore. Scott, can you unmute yourself?
There you are. Hi, Scott.
Hi, everybody. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Hello, my name is Scott Gilmore. I am a citizen of District 11, involved through parks through my 8 years serving on the Parks and Rec Advisory Board and my 14 years serving as the Deputy Executive Director of Denver Parks. I just wanted to bring up a couple issues and just make sure that I follow up on some emails you guys have received from me. I want to stress that I know that the staff and the work that Denver Parks and Rec does is just phenomenal, and I just want to honor the employees that I worked with for over 2 decades. And so a couple things I wanted to highlight. I do want to stress I am continuing the work that I've done for the past 20 plus years. Just recently, I was asked to serve on the board of the Colorado Golf Association, so I started that term here just in the last month. I had a national organization contact me to serve on a pickleball task force, which I will do, and have been meeting with them, and that's pretty exciting. And just over the weekend, I actually was appointed as co-chair of the Green Leadership Trust, which is an organization that honors the global majority, the population of the global majority, people of color, and fight for equity and justice for people in the environmental field and in the green spaces. So I'd like to say that a couple things. I had emailed the department, I had emailed Jolon about a light in Silverman Park. There was some lights placed in Silverman Park through the participatory budget process. I have been emailing over 3 months about a light that is brand new, that is probably the most specially placed light for safety in the park, as it is directly adjacent to the playground. I continue not to have any response, and it still is not working. The portalets have been removed from all the parks in Montbello, and I visited Wash Park the other day, and there were 18 portalets in Wash Park, and there's not one portalet in any park in all of our community. This is an injustice. Youth and families in this part of the city need portalets too. And I did send you guys information about the diversion of over $5 million from the far northeast to the District 1 downtown. If anybody would like to follow up with me on that, that's fine. But I just did want to get this on the record that there is a diversion of over $5 million from the highest level equity on the map to the lowest equity on the map, the DPR map. And I think that is a clear injustice, and that was done under this leadership of this Parks Department.
Thank you, Scott. We appreciate you coming tonight and sharing that with us, bringing that to our attention.
Our next comment tonight is from Tony Frey. Tony?
Hi, how's everybody? I live in the West Colfax neighborhood and I frequent Sloan's Lake Park quite often. And I've been picking up over the last few years a lack of lighting. I brought it up a couple months ago, and I think I may have brought it up in other forms, maybe beyond just email years ago. But I'm curious how folks in the Sloan's Lake and West Colfax and surrounding communities and people who use Sloan's Lake after hours in the wintertime, it gets crowded at night. There's risk of people falling on ice. I have a colleague who's actually slept on black ice before because the visibility was so poor. So there are select areas of the lake which have very adequate lighting. They are very good, and there's others that are actually quite poor, including the north, east portions. There's blotches all over. So I'm curious how we can start a conversation offline or via my chain of emails that I've sent a few times on what the best way is to advocate for improved lighting around the lake because of the city budget constraints that we've had this year. I don't expect something to happen right away, but we would love to add our advocacy into the queue for the next opportunity for funding for such a project. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Tony. And you bring up important topics for district-wide lighting. Thank you.
Okay, our next comment tonight is from Deb Neely. Deb, if you can hang on just a moment, you should be able to unmute yourself.
Hello? Oh, I saw it unmute. And then it
You're
muted
still...
again. There we
There
go.
you go.
Okay. Hi, I'm Deb Neely.
Hello.
I don't know what happened here. My kind of freaked out. Can you see me? There you go. Okay. Yeah, I'm Deb Neely. Hello, Parks and Rec Advisory Board. I am a longtime resident of Sloan's Lake neighborhood. I've been walking around Sloan's Lake since 1985. While there have been many improvements over the years, one constant has been inadequate lighting at night in a couple of areas of the walking path at Sloan's Lake. One of these areas is on the southwest corner of the walking path between approximately Xavier Street and the bridge. The other area in need of lighting is the north side of the lake. This dark area of the walking path is between the edge of the parking lot where the dock is and the boathouse. Incidentally, I call it a walking path. However, there are many types of users of the path, whether at night or during the day. Over the years, I have encountered slippery ice and have taken falls, and I feel strongly that I could have, if I could see that ice, I would have avoided those falls. The lack of lighting for those areas make it very dangerous, especially for an older person, and there are plenty of older people who walk the lake at night. So I'm not only concerned about my safety, I'm concerned about the safety of many other people who visit the lake in the evenings after dark. I see people of all ages and abilities. As an older female, I feel particularly vulnerable in these unlit areas, no matter what the weather. Incidentally, I wonder if the DPR employees have any idea how many people actually use the lake at night. I'm constantly amazed at the amount of people who currently travel around the lake at night. The number is growing exponentially. At any time, we could start getting more snow and ice, and I'm really hoping that something can be done in both of these areas to add more lighting. I would think anyone, regardless of their gender, age, or abilities, would be most grateful to actually see the path in which they are trying to navigate. I also wanted to mention that both the boathouse and the gun club buildings are scheduled for renovation in the next year or two, and I feel that that would be a really good opportunity to add additional lighting. Perhaps using the bond money that they are working with, DPR can work to get more lighting installed. Lastly, I do want to give a big shout out to the DPR employees at Sloan's Lake who remove the snow from the sidewalks. I think they do a stellar job cleaning the paths, and it is far easier to navigate the sidewalks after a storm than it was years ago. Unfortunately, the snow along the sidewalk edges melts onto the sidewalk and freezes back up at night. thus creating a dangerous slippery ice situation. Let's shed some light on that. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Deb. We appreciate your time in bringing that up and connecting the dots. Thanks.
We did have one more speaker signed up for tonight, but I did not see Lindsay Marsh in our attendee list. So Lindsay, if you're there, I sent you an email. If you can respond, maybe we can find some time for you a little later in the meeting. And that concludes our sign up for public comment tonight.
Great. Thank you. And thank you to all of you who came tonight to speak to us and share your ideas and opinions. And we appreciate you coming. I failed to introduce our new member before we started our public comment, and I failed to welcome and say hello to our youth members tonight. So I just want to take a moment to do that. So from our youth PRAB members, we have Audrey and Tasneem and Riley. Thanks for taking some time tonight and joining us. We appreciate you. And I want to introduce Jessie Carey, who is joining us from Congresswoman Ortega, I believe, or Parati.
Yeah, Councilwoman Parody.
Yes, yes, thank you. Well, welcome, and tell us a little bit about yourself. Welcome to PRAB.
Yeah, great to be here. I have lived in Denver for about 10 years. I am currently working for City Council. I work for the District 8 office, but I come to you by way of Councilwoman at Large Parody. I actually live in D4 right off of Bible Park, so I really enjoy spending time in Bible Park. I think it's actually one of the best parks in the entire city. And then before joining City Council in 2023, I actually worked for DPR as in their Trails division. So I have a little bit of experience with working in DPR. Really like my time there. Maybe after all this is over, I'll find my way back there. But yeah, good to be here. I recognize some of the other PRAB members, and I can't wait to get to know the rest of you guys. So good to be here.
Awesome. Welcome. Great time to join. We're having a retreat next month, and it'll be that's a great time to get to know people and have some time to even learn more about PRAB.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah. Jack, I want to give you an opportunity and say hi to you because I think this means that you're leaving PRAB. Is that correct?
It sure seems like it. But
it sure does. But we will miss you, so I want to give you a moment to speak, please.
But congratulations. It's good to see a transition move along here. And if you want, when we do our committee reports, I can kind of sign off on where we're at with the Environment Committee, the Sustainability and Resilience Committee. But good to see PRAB move along here well. And, best wishes for Councilwoman Parody and her new representative.
Awesome. Thank you. And Jack, we've appreciated you so much, and you've really done a lot of work with the Sustainability and Resiliency Committee and brought a lot of important issues through that and learned about it and helped the PRAB learn more. And we appreciate your leadership there, and we appreciate you a lot. So thank you. And hopefully you can connect the dots with Jesse and he can take that over. Great. Okay. Well, in that case, we're going to move right along to our committee reports. Oh, Tate, go ahead, please.
Do we have any other vacancies right now?
We do. Actually, thank you for saying that. We do have 2 vacancies. Thank you. We have District 9, Daryl Watson. We have a vacancy there. And then we also, actually, I should say that Kendra resigned from the board. So she wasn't able to come tonight anyway, but so we'd have a new vacancy in District 4 with Romero Campbell. Thank you for reminding me of that, Tate.
And Jesse, I'm going to confuse you now for District 4 and then also for District 8, but you represent the whole city, so that'll be... Sorry, I probably confused that.
I did too. I had to clarify that with Arthur.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a second. Okay, great. Well, then in that case, we are able to move right along tonight with our committee reports. We don't have any presentations. So we'll start with our Operations, Maintenance, and Budget Committee, which Kendra has been a big part of and leading. So I have an idea that I'd like to do before the retreat for the budget, and please speak up, Budget Committee people, if there's something else, but I'd like to reopen the survey and ask for some more feedback and guidance on the budget paper that we're creating, the budget recommendations for the department. So my intention would be to send something out later this week and have it completed by next week. Just some more feedback to make really targeted, intentional recommendations to the department that then we can look finally at our retreat and spend some time with. But I'd like to open that up for you guys. And then we would talk about that at our next committee meeting and have some more information to kind of help design what we need to do at our retreat. How does that sound to everybody? Okay, great. So I think, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, I didn't have any objections to that.
Oh, great. Thank you. And then as far as that committee goes, is there anything else that committee members would like to share? All right. With that, I'll send out that survey, and then I will actually send a survey, an email after this meeting with several requests and ideas. But then I think we can invite everyone to that meeting if you're interested in that planning meeting to discuss the budget ideas for the retreat. All right, and then our next committee is our recreation and programming, and that would be Marlene, and I don't think Marlene is here tonight. And that meeting was so long ago. I was there, and I don't really remember what we talked about. Does anybody, who else was there in November? All right. Well, usually at the Recreation Committee meeting, we just go over the dashboard and we look at usage numbers for each month. So I think that's what we did. All right. Then we'll have Jack speak for our Sustainability and Resiliency Committee.
Hi.
That has done a lot of work.
Do you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, good. Like the other committees, we did not meet in December. So we'll have there's a meeting at the end of this month. One issue we have kind of teed up, and as I exit out here, I'll try and make sure I mark this up and get it to committee members and Arthur. We're trying to get an update on clean energy projects across the department. Those typically are involving solar panels at rec centers and at maintenance facilities. And Westwood Rec Center is under construction, so the geothermal project there must be moving along. So, you know, I'll try and help tee up a clean request on that. The other heads up I give you is around March or April, Sustainability and Resilience should be getting a wildlife management update. And I've certainly noticed in Washington Park a few more geese than we kind of like to see around there lately. We will get a report on what our geese populations look like, if it's getting out of balance or not, and the management that's gone on, which usually consists of finding the nests, oiling the eggs, and harassing the geese to move along from the grassy areas and not so much reside there. So just heads up, you know, that's something that can hit this board and the department in about 3 months. This comes up annually, but how is our geese population? Because people we don't like to see calling of geese. Yep. But, you know, we try to get an early heads up so you could tell your members, you know, whether we have a problem coming up or not. And yep. Fortunately, for the last 5 years, we have not. We had 2 years where we did before that. So that's what I could pass along now. Thanks a lot, and best wishes to everybody. Hope to see you in the future still.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jack. And thank you for all your incredible work on the Sustainability and Resiliency Committee. We really do appreciate it. And thanks for teeing all that up so we're ready. Jolene, go ahead.
Sorry, getting out of order for my update. I just wanted to say, since Jack just gave his last report here, Jack, how many years have you been on PRAB now?
12
years.
2013.
I just want to say thank you so much from me, from the department, from everybody at DPR, from the city for your service. I'm pretty sure you didn't get paid for any of those 12 years to be here with us every one Wednesday out of the month and all your committee work, and just been a pleasure through all the various capacities that I have gotten to know you over those 12 years before I was with the department. And I just want to say, as you sign off here, thank you so much for your service. We appreciate you. You'll be missed. And the city is better because you took the time to be here with us. And so thank you, Jack.
Thank you very much, Jolon. I remember the time we served together on PRAB, and we got elected to the council and continued incredible work on the council, including in sustainability and resilience, left legacies for the city here. And now to see you in this position here, it's great. It's just been I don't know, as a band once said, what a long, strange trip it's been.
Well, don't be a stranger, Jack. We we hope you'll keep us abreast of all the adventures you go on from here.
Very good, very much.
Thank you so much. Awesome. 12 years, man. And now you're going to have a newfound. So the second Wednesday of every month has just freed up for you. So I don't know. Maybe you just go out to dinner every second Wednesday or something.
I heard he's thinking about a pickleball league for these Wednesdays.
I'm still nowhere near Florence on residency on the PRAB, though.
That might be a record that will never, ever be beat.
But Jack, truly appreciate the time you spent with us, and I just sent you a message and thanking you for the time and all of your input and teaching us everything that you brought regarding, all the topics you covered in the Resiliency Committee. That committee, I think, helped us in so many ways that will continue forward. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you very much, Florence. It was very good.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Very great. All right. Well, then we've got the Planning, Design, Funding, and Accessibility Committee. Any news like Jack's? Probably not.
No, there wasn't. Just because I think I ended up, Arthur and Laura and I spent a few minutes trying to figure out what are we doing with these committees, because last time it was just the three of us on the call. But it was time well spent, because I think and I'm hoping that part of the conversation we'll have at the retreat is talking about the committees and what we do with them and how are we, just the evaluation of committees, as a whole, the work and how we do the work and what is the work, besides really the issues that are brought to the table and from the public, and making sure that we get some responses back and forth and learning about the topics. For example, like we were just talking about in the information that came from the Resiliency Committee, everything that we were doing to improve the work and how we do the work with Parks and Rec, planning, there's so much in planning. And so how do we continue to figure out what is the work? What do we focus on? Because there's always plans, master plans in the neighborhoods and parks, and moving forward with just the needs of each of the parks and the game plan and how it all ties together. So I think that's a big conversation, and I'm hoping that we can really dive into it, spend some time in defining and evaluating the roles of our committees and how we spend our time along with the staff time. So anyway, that was a big conversation that Arthur and Laura and I had as far as how do we bring it forward to the retreat, some of the questions. The one thing, I think we do have an agenda item for this next planning meeting, because somebody, Arthur, remind me, wanted to bring forward or suggest the designation of parks.
Mm.
We've got some designation coming forward, so whether it comes through the committee, we can still do that, and or if that goes directly to a full board. So I'll leave that question out there. So
okay,
we just need to know so that whether we have our next meeting or not.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for doing some retreat planning too. That's what do you know? It's great timing to think about that as we're leading into the retreat.
Yeah.
And learning and looking at our systems and structures and wondering if we need to revise anything.
Yeah, and it's a good time just to evaluate and figure out what that looks like, you know, as we move forward with new ideas and new members, right?
Yeah, great.
So anyway, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Florence. All right. Well, at the executive committee, when we met last Tuesday, we talked about the retreat and kind of planning that. We talked about the budget and what we might need to do with Kendra leaving and how she had taken some leadership of that. So just kind of taking that on. And we talked about committees. Actually, we talked about committees at a committee and really wondering about the amount of committees that we have and considering what is the purpose of the committee and how do we serve the public and what in all of those big questions. So at our retreat, we'll be doing a lot of time on that, and I'd love to get some input from you guys about the retreat. So we're planning on having that on the 21st of February at the Carla Madison, and Arthur will send details, but we'd really like to spend some time thinking about committees and thinking about the work that we do, how we engage with the department, how do we engage with the public, and really hopefully walk away with a really solid budget recommendations for the department. So I'll be sending an email out with a couple of requests, like I indicated earlier. One with just reopening the budget survey, asking for some more specific feedback about it. And then just an open-ended question of what do you want to make sure is covered at the retreat? What would be a good use of your time? With that, I think that's all we talked about. So I'll turn it over to Jolon well, actually, I'll ask if there's any questions or comments about that or any of the committees. Okay, great. Oh, Jesse, go ahead, please.
Yeah, just a quick question. Since I'm new, I did see in the materials that were sent over when I accepted the nomination, I did see the committee assignments. I was wondering, how do I get on a committee? If that's something that maybe since the retreat's coming up next month, it sounds like those might be up under consideration, or for reconsideration, and so maybe it's done there, but just need that circle closed at some point.
Absolutely. So that's a great thing to just kind of talk about. We all get to volunteer for a committee, so you're not necessarily assigned to a committee. It's kind of what kind of pulls at your heart. What do you want to be part of so far? And you're welcome to go to any committee meeting. And also we invite public to any committee meeting. So they're open to the public, and it's a really opportunity to kind of discuss different topics more in depth, kind of learn things maybe that we need to know and then bring to the department, etc. So you're welcome to join any committee at this point, but I think it makes real sense for the retreat to happen and then, because we might be just changing how they look anyway. In the meantime, though, they do meet right now the 4th week of the month, and they're at different times. So Arthur will make sure to share those times. If you just want to go to any one of them to kind of hear what's going on, I would say the budget committee is going to be one that will continue to happen, and we need to do that work for sure. And then it sounds like the Sustainability and Resiliency Committee has some things that need to be addressed shortly.
Cool. I was going to say that my preference would be the Sustainability Committee, so
okay.
That may work out. But thank you for the update. And Arthur did send along the committee schedule as well, so I have it.
Great. Awesome. And Kelsey, I know you joined us last month in November, so this is only your second meeting. So same goes for you. I don't think you've actually selected committee, and it's going to be I know you won't be at the retreat. So we'll do some work, and then we'll make sure to share with you everything, and then you can kind of identify where you might like to go. If you have an idea right now, you can let Arthur know and join any of those committees.
Great. Thank you so much. I'd like to learn about all of them and see where I can plug in. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks. Great. All right. With that, I will turn it over to our director, Clark, Jolon, and he will give us his executive director's report.
Yeah,
Thanks for joining us
thank you very much. Thank you all for being here. And just like the committee reports, a little bit shorter than usual today, but I do have some really exciting things there is a lot going on. There's some really awesome public meetings. I think one of the things that we're going to dive into at the retreat, hopefully it sounds like, is kind of how do PRAB members engage with community. And I always think that awesome opportunity to go to R&O meetings where they'll talk about parks and other kinds of things in your area, but also huge opportunity specifically on parks to attend public meetings that are in your area and really engage with folks and with our staff, get to know the folks on our team who are working in your neighborhoods. You know, it's a daunting task with 2,500 different employees, but it's a great way to really dive in there. And so, and you're always welcome to attend ones that are outside of your area too, if there's something of interest to you. Obviously, all of our rec centers and all of our parks are used by all of our residents. Doesn't have to be just there, but so would love to see you out at any and all of these meetings that I'm going to talk about. We have a meeting tomorrow. If you don't have plans right now, put it on your calendar. 5:30 to 7 at the Denver Language School, Gilpin campus, to talk about the Mestizo Curtis Park Pool. There we had a whole public engagement process, and then had a group of community came forward and said, hey, I think we missed the mark on this. Can we take a step back, do some more surveying? And we will be talking about that new survey. We did hear from 1,500 people in this latest survey, and we'll be presenting those results, talking about next steps. So that it will be an exciting meeting. Also, the Green Valley Ranch maintenance facility that'll be coming online, one of our new maintenance facilities, that is postponed until February 3rd now. It will be an in-person meeting at the GVR Rec Center from 5 to 6:30, so you can stop by anytime there and learn about our new maintenance facility. We do have a really awesome program to, this will be a brand new shop, so our workers don't have as far to drive, and they're not driving mowers and gators on the street with cars, which can be very dangerous. We had one of those get hit on Colorado Boulevard, not in this area, earlier this year, and had dash cam footage from it. It was a very scary situation. Thankfully, everybody's okay, but this reduces that drive time on street with some of that equipment, gets them in and out so they can get more to their stuff more easily. But not only are we building new facilities, we also are looking at how do we update our existing facilities. Would be a great thing at some point to talk about, you know, just generally as a presentation, because really investing in the places where our employees, they're not always the first thing that people ask for when we go out and say, hey, what do you want in your community on a bond effort? And so it has been difficult over the years to get traction on those investments, but the department has made great strides. Built some really beautiful spaces for people to show up to work every day, but not all of our facilities have been updated. And so we continue to work on that, and this will be one of those. So please come join us for that. Park Hill Park, the kind of final piece of this first visioning piece, the next level that we'll go to as we continue towards construction will be the design process, which will have more touch points for community, but kind of the final piece of what did we hear from community? What is the vision, the high level vision for this new 155-acre park? Will be at Smith Elementary School on January 22nd. Drop in anytime between 5:30 and 7:30 to see that design, and it should be a really exciting one as well. Also at Sloan's Lake, we have a couple of facilities that are being redone at Sloan's Lake that you heard a little bit from public comment. That was about the lighting, but the actual facilities are the boathouse and the gun club. The gun club will be redone and to house all of our maintenance staff who are currently in the boathouse. So that will be updated, as I talked about, in our effort to continue that process of making those places great for our employees. That will also then free up the boathouse, which is right on the water at Sloan's Lake, kind of in the marina area, to be more community facing and serving. Right now, that is not a building that's open to the community. It's not a building that the community can use or rent out or grab a coffee or any of that kind of stuff. And so there are conversations happening with community about, hey, once we get everybody moved over and out of this, and this is free, what do you want in there that will be community serving? So an exciting opportunity, a really cool building at one of our historic parks that will turn back to a community face, and our employees will have better work. So it's like kind of the confluence of good things happening there. So you can see the preferred design concept based on the community feedback so far of the boathouse on January 29th, anytime between 5 and 6:30 p.m. And again, if you need details on any of these, and for our newer members, that's in your chat, and then you'll also should get those from staff, so you don't have to be remembering everything that I say here. And I know I talk fast, try to slow down. And then just another flag, just the beginning of conversation. Civic Center Park is officially under construction, and there are a lot of events that use Civic Center Park. And so we are in the initial stages of having conversations to look at the possibility of allowing for some admission-based events that normally would go to Civic Center Park at Commons Park downtown. And so keep an eye out for some outreach that will be going out to City Council, to different RNOs, and to the community to have that conversation about whether that we could pilot something over there as we have Civic Center under construction for a little while here. And so keep an eye out for that. On the recreation side of things, just a couple of statistics on our 2025 recap. This is stats from our December dashboard. Total annual visits this year was over 2.8 million. Our annual usage was up 7% from 2024. Over 45,000 unique visits on My Denver, and over 454,000 overall visits, also a 7% increase from last year. Our My Denver Prime for our active older adults passes hit over 500,000 this year. And we have approximately 116,000 enrolled in DPR programs this year. Citywide sports, outdoor rec, youth sports. Youth sports is definitely the one that attracted the most people. And then we had approximately 170,000 people took a fitness class with DPR Fitness or our AOA Fitness this year or last year. And then over 77,000 free youth meals were distributed at our rec centers this year. So just some highlights from last year of the awesome scale and size of the operation that everybody who works on the recreation side of our house put in the work this year and continues to just grow. So I think those were all of my updates for today, but as always, I'm here to answer any questions that you have about those things or anything else that's on your mind. And thank you again.
Awesome. Thank you, Jolyn. All right, Kelsey, go ahead.
Yes, I have a couple questions, and this is my second meeting. So if I'm asking you things that you're like, don't bother me with that, I'll take the feedback. But I am curious and trying to learn. So the first thing I want to just clarify from the last meeting, I don't think I heard the right figure on the budget amount that is allocated for Park Hill planning. We had a little discussion. That's a number. I don't know if you know off the top of your head. It could be a follow-up.
Yeah, I don't have that number off the top of my head, but let me clarify. Or even if you just want to shoot me an email with your specifics, then I can get it to the right people, make sure I get you the exact numbers. But clarify, there was we have a contractor on board right now that we did through our on-call contracting process to do this initial visioning, but then there will be design, all of which we would roll into the word planning probably. And so just if there's one piece of that you want, or you're looking at kind of the total planning costs, just let me know kind of specifically what you're looking for in an email, and happy to, make sure that I get to the right people who can give you those numbers. The planning side that we are moving into, that number hasn't been determined yet. Because there will be a full RFP for that. It will be larger than our on-call contracts. So there will be an RFP, different firms will bid on, hey, I think I can do that planning and design, get you to 100% construction documents, and it'll cost this much. And there'll be different bids and a bid committee that will select who will do that work based on those bids. So we don't have a number yet for that. Only really so far probably the number for this initial design that is capstone with the public meeting I was talking about.
Okay, thank you. I will email, and then for our team, I will share it back out what I learned, because I think that I may not have been the only one with that question.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, awesome. Then the other thing with the budget committee there that would look at the RFPs, who is on that? Are there any constituents that are on that, or is that city appointed? How does that work?
Yeah, generally for picking those, it would be city employees in our planning, design, and construction. They're the ones who manage those contracts and work with that. But I don't think that's been set yet, so I don't want to speak out of turn on how exactly that looks, but I'll get you that information as well. If you just add that to the email, I'll get you kind of what past ones like that have looked like, who's been who's been on there, or if there are any ideas so far. The RFP has not even been sent out yet. Okay. So we're still months away from a selection committee.
Okay, well, that's great timing. And if any other interests of PRAB I'm saying our acronym right.
PRAB, yeah.
PRAB.
Yeah.
Okay, want to be included in that? Just shoot me an email and I'll let you know, because basically based on the answer to how much money we've allocated to the planning process, so that visioning and design you've talked about will inform how interested I am in kind of continuing to pursue or just maybe staying out of that and focusing efforts elsewhere. So I'll send you an email on that. The other part, I'd love to understand a little bit more. The Civic Center Park under construction, and you mentioned you're looking at piloting admission events somewhere else. I don't understand all the workings of that, and that's okay. But what I'm wondering is if there's some connection to that, and are those any private events that we'd be charging admission for? Yes?
Yeah, so admission-based events can be like Dom Dalla performed at Civic Center Park last year. So that it can be that, or like there's even I believe last year within Pride, which generally is a nonprofit community event, they had a certain area that you could pay into to do a certain part of it. Even that is then admission-based. So anytime you are charging admission for an event at a park, it falls under a different policy, our admission-based events policy, which generally limits how many times that can happen. It can only happen at certain parks. There are most of our parks where you cannot get a permit for that kind of event. And then even at the ones that you have, there are limits on them, and then requirements on how they keep track of that, because a certain amount of that money comes back to the city, and all that kind of stuff. So that's our admission-based events policy that we have, which again allows for that at Civic Center. I think I'm going to say something and I'm going to be wrong here, but it either isn't allowed at Commons Park at all right now, or it's only allowed a couple days out of the year. So it's looking at, do we pilot something that's not happening there, or do we expand something to more days because of the kinds of events that can't happen at Civic Center while it's under construction is the conversation that'll be happening there.
Excellent. That is exactly the context I was looking for. I want to connect that to Mr. Montague, who came for public comment and was talking about the limitations to have, this sounds really like it would fall in the same bucket of a private event at Montclair. And whatever exceptions that you're looking at for this, I think we could look at that in the same light.
That's possible, but I think there are some nuances to that. Absolutely.
For sure. I'm not, not intended to be a decision, just ideas out there. And, thinking about revenue generation for the city and use of our parks. So that's all for me. Thank you for answering my questions, and I will send you an email and share back with the team if that's okay.
Yeah, always.
All right, cool. Thank you.
That's great. And I think typically when we have questions for Jolon or the department, I'm sure that he'll share it with all of us. Because just an update in general. So all the questions
unless it's something you want to know that's just personal for you and you tell me not to, then we'll make sure.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so that's very helpful. Absolutely. Cool. Well, any other comments, questions, ideas for Jolon? Well, we've got them. All right. Well, at the end of our meeting, we'd like to open it up for board announcements, and that would be any of our youth members who'd like to speak and share anything with us, or if we have any of our PRAB members who would like to share anything with us, any events or anything that's going on. So I'll open it up to the board now. All right, Kim, go ahead. I was wondering. Yeah.
It's that time of year. So I'm going to talk with my park people hat on right now. So Denver Digs Trees applications are live. So please spread the word that free and affordable trees for your yard or for your street side, folks can apply for those. They're vastly more affordable than sourcing solo, and we want to be planting the whole city, succession planting. And then also especially in our low canopy neighborhoods. So appreciate any help spreading the word on that front. And then also in just about another week or so, we have 2 other programs that kind of go through their launch cycles. So we'll start registering folks for our Community Forester Workshop series, which is also similar to all of our programs, has a rich component of partnership with Denver Parks and Rec and the Forestry, the City Forester's Office. So the Community Forester Workshops are, 5-course series that folks are trained by the park people staff and Denver Forestry staff, amazing folks. And it's this really enriching workshop series that trains skilled and knowledgeable volunteer tree stewards for our city. And then the other program is our Tree Force program, and that is workforce training in urban forestry. So preparing folks facing barriers to employment for careers in the tree care sector. And that's an 8-week pre-apprenticeship program. And so we'll start taking applications for that program. And it includes folks recently incarcerated, but also a whole bunch of other communities of people, really robust. And this will be our 8th cohort, or yeah, 8th cohort. So we'll be taking applications for that. So I'll pop in the Park People's website, but anybody's also welcome to reach out to me if you have any questions about that. And you'll probably get some emails from me pretty soon with that similar information. So thanks, that's it.
That's great. Thanks, Kim. And that's what an amazing work. What amazing work happens with the Park people. Thank you. All right, Fran, go ahead, please.
I have a question as Kim was talking. Now that the compost program in Denver City and County has increased and a lot of people are composting, does it fall to the Parks and Rec to disperse the compost that's being created?
No,
we know like trees are.
Yeah, we have our own piles for mulching and stuff like that for the trees that forestry and our park ops do. But all the stuff that comes through the city system is run by Dottie and goes to a commercial composting facility. The stuff that we can control because it's our forestry guys cut it down or our guys raked it up, we know isn't contaminated. There's a lot of issues with contamination in the green bins, and so it goes to a professional composting facility. And honestly, I'm not entirely sure all the ways that gets back out. I think mostly through the company that's doing the composting, because Denver doesn't do that directly, but that all happens under Dottie's umbrella, not under ours.
Fascinating. I know, I wish we could do better as people of Denver because I think it is very contaminated. Sadly.
Yeah, but yeah, I kind of, even though it's being handled by another department, I'm wondering if we shouldn't kind of keep our ear open and figuring out a way to have a presentation from them or something. See how we can be more of a co-partner.
Yeah. And how we can use the compost, honestly, and in the parks and recreation, we that's rich nutrients that if we could then somehow get back into our system would be cool. Great. Thanks, friend. Thanks for bringing that up. All right. Any other questions, board announcements? All right. Well, don't get used to this, folks. It is 6:30. We often go the whole time till 7:30. So for those of you that are here for the first time, just know this is an anomaly. It's a gift, though. So I will just say one final thank you for coming tonight. We appreciate your time. Please look for an email from me with information, feedback requests, and have a great evening. And we'll see you next month. And then we'll see you at the retreat. Please mark your calendar for the 21st of February. With that, I'll call the meeting adjourned. Have a great night.
Thank you. Good night.
Good
night, everyone.
Thank you.
8:28. I'll get these to you guys soon. Thank you.
Sounds great. Thanks, Kate.
Thanks,
Good night,
Jack.
everyone. Bye. Thanks, Jack.
Bye. Kate's always great. Okay, Arthur, I'm going to follow up with you tomorrow. I just have some questions about some stuff tonight.
You got it. We'll talk in the morning.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jack. Bye, Jolon.
Bye, Jolon.